That intermediate final between Cork and Galway throws in at 2 p.m. Followed at 4:15 by the senior final, Kilkenny facing Cork. Well, when it comes to big games on big days, these two counties know what it takes to win.
It was a massive weekend coming in Croke Park. There's a bit of, I suppose, excitement building down around Cork now, so I'm looking forward to it.
We're just really looking forward to, getting there on Sunday now. And look, I suppose we're all thinking of the ball being thrown in, so I suppose that's the main focus now, leading up to it.
It's great seniors are in Croke Park as well. The attention, I suppose, might be a bit more on the seniors on the day, so it takes a small bit of pressure off us anyway. So we're looking forward to having two teams up in Croke Park.
Look, obviously, I'm very disappointed for the seniors, but they're a fantastic bunch of girls. They're behind us all the way now, and I suppose there probably is that bit of added pressure, but look, we're all just kind of focusing on Sunday now and really looking forward to it.
They're definitely very disappointed after the semi-final loss, and I suppose there's a good carryover between some of the seniors to the intermediate that have been involved in both. So I think there's a bit of hurt there, all right, from that gang, especially when they're so close to training with each other. They'll want to prove a point now in the final, all right.
Look, they're a brilliant bunch. They've really excelled, I suppose, through the group stages. They're looking well on form. I suppose we got the opportunity to watch them after our match against Derry, and it was a brilliant match. So look, we know there's a massive challenge for us, and it's going to be a huge battle. They're going to be good, definitely.
We haven't played them in the championship so far, but we know they're a great side. There's a lot of that gang that have been training, I suppose, with the seniors as well. So we know they're training, I suppose, with the best really in the country. Galway are going to be a massive challenge, and I think we're aware of what lies ahead.
Oh, look, it would mean a lot. I know some of the girls, we've been around the block now at the intermediates for a while. I suppose back in 2019 we came out the wrong side of it, so look, we do want to kind of make right there. And even for the younger girls coming up from minor, they've been absolutely brilliant all year, and to even get this experience of playing in an All-Ireland in Croke Park is something else. So it would just be brilliant now to go all the way and be able to bring the cup back to Galway.
It's an honour really, but I think you can't really get caught up too much in it. I suppose the occasion really is for family and friends. You're just concentrating really on trying to get a performance on Sunday. But we're looking forward to it. It's a great buzz to be going up to Croke Park.
Yeah, and a big day for Cork Camogie, Ursula, and I don't think it'll be lost on too many of those players how beneficial it would be for Cork to get off to a winning start here. And they do have a lot of experienced players, and I think Lauren Homan is one.
Yeah, for me, she had a really, really impressive semi-final. She got 3 points from play. She's a lethal finisher inside for Cork, and she's a real leader as well, because having lost Finola Neville, the captain, through injury, she's really stood up and made herself counted. And I think if the right ball goes into her, I think she's deadly in front of the post. So she's definitely a player for me to watch out, and I think Galway's full backline are going to have to be touch tight on her today to keep her quiet.
And Marie, I'm looking at these Galway pen pictures, and there's an awful lot of young faces looking back at me.
Yeah, they're very young, no wrinkles in any of them. Look, I think Galway have been using their intermediate team as a kind of development squad for their minors. They're bringing in their minors and just getting them used to, I suppose, at high-level training. They're moving up and down training with the seniors, some of them. Olwen Rabbit, to me, she's one of 4 minors who come in after the minor All-Ireland. They were beaten by Cork. Maybe those 4 girls will get a chance today to, I suppose, turn the tables on Cork. We've got 8 girls starting in the from the last 3 minor teams, so they're such a young side. Coming into this, I think so many of them, they have probably very little experience of playing in Croke Park. So today is a huge day for some of those girls, and I think the Galway bench have a lot to offer to this game today.
What about discipline, Anna? When you look at somebody like Joanne Casey and what she's capable of from place balls, how important is it going to be today?
Yeah, I mean, Joanne has senior experience. She would have played with the Cork seniors 8 years ago now, so that to just give you an indication of how long she's wearing the Cork jersey. But she's coming into this game with 240. She's, again, another exceptional player, a real leader. She is from an Ascara club, Rena Buckley's club, and she would have played a club final here as well. So she has a wealth of experience. But for me, the real test, and when she stood up the most, was in the semi-final when Cork were 3 points down with almost time left and it was almost up. She stepped up in injury time, got the equaliser and got the winner. So she's a big game player, and Cork need to get the ball to her as quickly as possible because she can take long range scores and she can take on the defence as well.
Yeah, for sure. Well, let's get confirmation of the teams from our commentator, Ger Canning. But first, Valerie was speaking to the two managers.
Trevor, a big occasion, All-Ireland final day in Croke Park.
Yeah, massive occasion, to be fair, massive day. Look, for Cork, having two teams in Croke Park is no mean achievement. Look, it's great to see the two teams here today. Look, we're here on merit, so all we can do is turn up and try our best, and if our best is good enough, look, that's what we'll have to take.
Surviving an intense semi-final to get here as well, did that give you extra, motivation?
Yeah, it's mad. Look, we spoke all the week before the semi-final, the build-up to the semi-final. It was all about just falling over the line. That's what semi-finals are there for. They're absolutely a horrible build-up because you don't know what to do. You don't know what to organise before the match or for after the match. So, look, we fell over the line against a very, very good Derry side. We played them on 3 occasions this year. Thank God we got out the right side and in the semi-final.
Galway today now, what are you expecting from them? They're a young side.
They're a very young side, look, but there's a lot of experience there as well. They have a lot of players that are knocking around their senior panel as well. So, look, you can't expect nothing but a great side from Galway. Look, Cahill Murray is involved from as well. So, look, Cahill is a great manager. He's been around the block. It's my first time in Croke Park. All my managers' first time. So, look, Galway will probably win as favourites. But, look, we know the task ahead.
Carl, first of all, the sun is shining. It's a glorious day. You'd rather be no place else than All-Ireland final day.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable day in fairness. And look, it's lovely to be up here and we're really looking forward to it.
When you hear the last day against the semi-final against the seniors, is it hard for yourself personally to turn around and then face your attention to the intermediates?
Yeah, it was probably hard. In some ways, it was probably made it easier, to be honest with you. Like, we had a big game with intermediates, so you weren't going to dwell on the senior result. And obviously, after beating me, then you're all systems go, and you want to make sure everything is best for today. And look, it's great that we're here. We have a really young team, but we're really looking forward to now.
You did mention they're a young team. How are they feeling heading into the final?
I'm sure they're nervous. Listen, I think it's 11 players under 20. We've 2 20-year-olds, 3 of them are 19. I think we've 4 18-year-olds, and the 2 17-year-olds starting today. So compared to Cork, they have huge experience. Like, we're a massive young team, but look, we're just hoping we perform. And look, if we perform, it's like Cork could be saying we have a very good chance.
Thanks very much. Best of luck, Carl.
All right, thanks, Valerie.
That's Galway's Cathal Murray chatting with Valerie Wheeler. Well, Cork's quest for a first All-Ireland intermediate title in 4 years is greatly helped by the inclusion of Lauren Callan, Siobhan Hutchinson and now Caitlin Hickey. All played a prominent role here in the defeat of Down in the 2018 final. Niamh O'Leary and Leanne O'Sullivan have enjoyed another fine championship campaign for the Rebelettes. The leading scorer this year has been Joanne Casey, wing forward and chief free taker, while Lauren Homan and Cleona O'Callaghan have been major players in this Cork attack. Opponents Galway look to bridge a gap of 9 years since their last All-Ireland in this grade. Ciara Donoghue and Lisa Casserly were both here 3 years ago when Westmeath got their measure. Ciara Hickey, Ali Hesnan and Alwyn Rabbit are among those promoted from the minor team beaten in the All-Ireland final by Cork last April. Katie Gilchrist scored a goal and 2 in the semi-final win over Meath, while Laura Kelly came on in that match and scored a goal and 3. She starts on the bench, but Niamh McInerney does start. She'll be in their half-forward line. Well, Cork's substitute list today includes Michelle Murphy and Rachel O'Shea, who added much-needed craft and renewed energy levels in the semi-final win over Derry, while the team captain is the injured number 30, Finola Neville. Galway's Laura Kelly played a starring role when introduced in their 4-point semi-final win, and today Siobhan Dively is among the subs alongside Alana Kelly, Shannon Corcoran and Chloe Farragher. All of them saw game time in that semi-final. We may see them here during the next hour. We're going to, however, go back to our panel right now and join Marie Crowe.
Thanks, Ger. Interesting to see Caitlin Hickey there, Ursula. She was really good in the semi-final off the bench for Cork and has been rewarded now with a starting spot in centre forward. Yeah, her impact was a really vital in that semi-final when she got 2 points from play. She has the experience of winning an All-Ireland with the intermediates in 2018 and she's a fantastic athletic player, so I expect a big game from her. And what a clash between her and Lisa Casserly, centre back and centre forward. So Caitlin, a big player for the big stage. Yeah, plenty to look forward to. The intermediate final throws in shortly. Stay with us for all the action. The intermediate final is coming up very, very shortly, but we do have time for some very quick predictions, Anna Geary.
Very quick. Okay, based on the physical battles with Derry and Meath, that Cork would have learned a lot, I'm going to stay with Cork.
Ursula?
For me, look, I think it's going to be very close, but I think Cork are going to edge it. I think their experience here in Croke Park might help.
Anne-Marie?
I'm hoping I'm going to be right. Yeah, the last 3 games, Galway have conceded less than 10 scores a game. They've scored 14 goals, 106 points. I'm going to go for Galway today.
Well, thank you. That was very impressive, ladies. It is almost time for throw, and let's join Ger alongside Elaine Aylward.
Thank you very much indeed, Marie. It's a fabulous day here in Croke Park. A little bit of cloud overhead, but well, you can see the breeze as well rippling through the flags there up on Hill 16. So whoever is playing with that in the first half will have an advantage. As you say, I've got Elaine Aylward with me here. We're looking at a more experienced looking team from Cork, I think, against a youthful looking Galway side. Is that a fair summation of how it looks at this stage?
Yeah, look, I think when you look across the names on both panels, you probably see a lot of experience in that Cork setup. You know, they've played at intermediate level before, they've played at senior level, a lot of them, you know, so they have that experience. And if you look at the Galway team, as the girl said, it's a lot of 18, 19, 20-year-olds, so fresh out of minor, sprinkled with a little bit of experience as well. And I suppose the big question is whether it'll be experience or that youthful enthusiasm that will come through here today. I suppose we saw in the first game it was Antrim's youthful enthusiasm that won that one through for them, maybe against Armagh. So Galway fans will be hoping for something similar maybe in the intermediate decider.
Well, we got a glimpse there of the match referee, who is Gavin Donegan from Dublin, and his linesman today, or lines persons today, because men and women here. We've got Liz Dempsey from Kilkenny and Philip MacDonald from Cavan. And over there on the far side, Brian Carney from Kildare is the 4th official. Anya McCormack from Clare is the 5th. And in the middle of the park right now, ready to get things underway, in the maroon jersey for Galway, you've got Ali Hesna, number 8, and Jennifer Hughes, number 9. Our match referee ready to throw the ball in. Lauren Calnan and Rachel Harty, who's the vice captain of Cork. She's lining up in the middle of the park. And it's Galway who won the toss, and they're playing from left to right in the first half. So they have the breeze behind them, ready to try and launch the first attack if they can in this All-Ireland Intermediate final. Straight away, Lauren Calden getting her hands on the ball, playing it forward here into the inside forward line, collected well in there by Lauren Holman. Holman, an experienced player. That time it was Rachel Harty trying to move the ball in, blocked down, however, away in the end by Tegan Canning for Galway, and there's nobody there ready to pick it up in a maroon shirt, however, so it's easily mopped up by Aisling Maloney. Bad ball away, however, given straight there to Lauren Loughnane, and Loughnane gets the opening point of the match for Galway.
Yeah, and we saw the good and the bad of both sides there straight away. I suppose an aimless ball enough from Tegan Canning down to Aisling Maloney, who's playing as that spare player back there, and it was her distribution, I suppose, crossfield ball that led to that score for Laura Loughnane. So that's what both sets of teams will try to do, but they look to do it maybe a little bit more efficiently.
And the point scorer is onto it again, gives it here to Tegan Canning, the vice captain of the side. 2 shots, 2 points. We haven't played 75 seconds yet, and his team in a little bit of trouble there. That's Trevor Coleman there from the Piercing in Cork, the Cork manager.
Yeah, and that's an area Cork struggled on in that semi-final for a long period, was winning their own puck outs, and look, opted to go along with this one from Stephanie Bosang, so they look to try and get a hand on it down around the half-forward line. Coming
across to mop it up, however, is the cornerback, Ciara Hickey, who played well in the semi-final win. I think she was your player of the match in that. Gráinne Hannon here, the opposing number 4. A little tug on her, however, by Niamh McInerney, who's been called into the side in place of Siobhan Dively. So the match referee, Gavin Donegan from Dublin, giving the free here to Cork, finding themselves 2 points behind early on in the game. That free whipped in there by Rachel Harty, and the referee saw some holding, and it's going to be another free in, and an opportunity now perhaps for the usual free taker for Cork, Joanne Casey, to have a go and perhaps get her first point of the match.
Yeah, no doubt about that one. Casey Anna Porter with a good push in the back there just as that ball was dropping in, and as you said, a chance for Joanne Casey now to find her range and get Cork off the scoreboard, maybe just settle the nerves a little bit from them.
Scorer of 2 goals and 42 points in this year's championship. Both teams playing in their 7th match of the campaign. She got 2-3 up in Derry on a match which Cork lost, but they more than make amends in the semi-final, and she's got a good start here. First free taken, first point, and the Cork fans hoping it'll be the first of many this afternoon for the 2 Cork teams who are here, of course. As you know, the senior match, it'll be Cork against Kilkenny, live here at 4:15. But this is the intermediate decider, and it's Cork winning it here in the middle of the park with Rachel Harty. Harty plays it out to her left-hand side. The support here is from Caitlin Hickey. Made such an impact when she came on against Derry in the semi. Little miss hit that time, however, and it's easy for Fiona Ryan, the Galway goalkeeper, to come out, pop it up and put it out as far as Tegan Canning, one of their scorers already. Tegan from Mullia, supported here by Katie Anna Porter, one of 3 Katies in the Galway team. Katie Gilchrist there, number 11, head down, trying to win that one, but it's won once again by Cork. Coming out with it here is Lauren Calnan. Calnan taking off, getting into the D here, looked to be tripped, and the referee blows his whistle, and it ends up being a free. And another chance for Joanne Casey, and another opportunity to level the match.
Yeah, and you can see what Cork are trying to do from deep. You know, Laura Calnan with the run on that time. On that occasion, Rachel Harty with the run before, linking up really well with Caitlin Hickey. So Cork trying to run the ball from around the middle of the field, where they're trying to break down that Galway midfield and then run at them. And there was a super run out of Laura Calnan, and eventually fouled for the chance again for Joanne Casey to equalise the game.
Player of the match against Derry in the semi-final. Got 5 points in the last 10 minutes of that. It's a match they could very easily have lost. And that's a very good start by Joanne Casey. 100% success from the frees. So 2 points apiece, and they've very quickly wiped out Galway's early lead.
Yeah, look, Joanne Casey is a fantastic free taker, has had a fantastic couple of years with her club in Ascara, and as we said, she's one of the players with senior experience here. So actually came on for Jenny O'Leary, I think, in 2014 All-Ireland final, so huge experience there, and Cork will look to her for a lot today.
And Jenny O'Leary, of course, was part of that Armagh team beaten in the junior just before this by Antrim. Right now it is Gillian O'Leary trying to emerge from that. Took a lot of steps, however, and the end result is that it's going to be a free for Galway. Gillian, who plays for Sliabh Rua, which is a club which is based in Riverstick and Belgooly. That was a fabulous catch there a little while ago by Laura Loughnane. Taking the free here is Katie Gilchrist, and Katie Gilchrist sends this one straight over the crossbar. Good success with her first. Nice confidence booster. Galway back in front again.
Yeah, really superb free taker on the Galway side as well. You know, that wasn't an easy one to start off with, to judge the wind and everything into that hill 16 end and from a nice little bit of distance. But as I said, a superb free taker, and you know, she accounted for a lot of their scores in the semi-final as well, and has done throughout the campaign.
3 chances given to Galway, 3 scores taken. They apply the pressure on the ball carrier trying to come out with it. This time it is Leanne O'Sullivan, an experienced campaigner herself with senior experience, and the referee's going to have to throw that ball in. Clash ball. Last one to pick herself up was Rachel Harty. There against Olwen Rabbit, the number 13, daughter of Joe, former All-Star, not once but twice. Out it comes to Katie Manning for Galway. Playing it down into the inside forwards here. Scoop back there by Niamh McInerney. Back as far as Tegan Canning. Diagonally across towards Niamh McPeak. Trying to get first run on this one against the other Niamh O'Leary, the Cork fullback. And it's the Galway player who swings on this one. 4 shots, 4 points by Galway. Niamh McPeak with a beauty.
Yeah, and that's the kind of inside forward line that Galway have. You know, they love to spray the ball around from side to side. They have pace, they have power, and lovely little show of feet there from Niamh McPeak. Just a wrong foot, Niamh O'Leary, before she swung that one over the bar.
Well caught that time from the puck out by Cork by Caitlin Hickey. Down here, retained by Hayley Ryan, the Blackrock player. And she's out over the sideline. However, they play away, but the umpire, or rather the linesperson over there, Philip MacDonald from Cavan, had his flag raised. So it'll be a line ball, which will be taken for Galway by, I think it's probably going to be Lisa Casserly. In the end, she's leaving it for Katie Anna Porter. Katie Anna, who's just 18 years of age, plays for Davits. Her first season playing at this intermediate level. So a huge day for her. Hayley Ryan picks it up here. Off she goes again. And this time she's dragged back. So Hayley Ryan from Blackrock, the 24-year-old, winning a free in for Cork. She's been a big hit on TikTok with her numerous impressions, I gather, and also a budding DJ with the local radio station Red FM in Cork. Free to Cork, which will be taken once again by Joanne Casey. Player of great experience, has senior experience, did a little bit of travelling and then came back. So a huge Philip, for them to have her in their ranks. Big distance out, catches it smoothly. Nice delivery, the usual level of accuracy. 3 from 3 for her.
Yeah,
really good start to the match.
Great start, and I suppose goes through the same routine time and time again, and is unerring those frees. And we can see both sets of teams set up with 2 inside and both full forward lines, and a lot of space in front of them.
Just over 8 minutes gone. All of Cork's scores so far coming from frees. Kate Kilcommons giving it as far as Joanne Casey, firing it in there. There's an extra Galway player back there. The sweeper at the back is Ciara Hickey, but this time it's Cork with Cleanna O'Callaghan out there foraging. Hayley Ryan there as well. And in the end it goes off a Cork stick, so it's got to be a Galway line ball.
Yeah, and both teams with that extra player sitting back, you know, Ciara Hickey for Galway and it's Aisling Maloney for Cork at the other end. So it's the distribution of the ball from the middle of the field now. If they're not going to carry it in, their distribution needs to be really, really accurate.
Ciara, who was the Galway minor captain earlier in the year, they were beaten by Cork in the All-Ireland final at that level. Everybody appealing for it, and the linesman, not sure is he giving it one way or the other. Looks to be a Cork ball.
Yeah, I think it hadn't gone out initially when Galway were looking for the line ball, and then it went out off a Galway player, possibly Katie Gilchrist over there. So a line ball for Rachel Harty now on the far side for Cork.
Well, she is the captain on the field because, unfortunately, Finola Neville is out with injury. She would be their captain, but unable to play. Part of the squad, however. Coming across to take this here is Hayley Ryan, hand passing it back, not the best one, but Kate Kilcommons blocked down, goes again, wins it, gives it back out again to Hayley Ryan. Another block down, one back by Galway. Loose ball collected here by Gillian O'Leary. Played into the middle, driven forward here. Nicely in. Over there to win this one is Lauren Homan, player of vast experience, and Homan puts it up and puts it over the bar. Student at MTU in Cork gets her first, levels the match, 4 points apiece.
Yeah, and that's a better ball altogether in from Cork. You know, it goes right into the left-hand corner. They're totally bypassing Ciara Hickey as the +1 in that spare Galway defence. So that's the kind of distribution that Laura Homan and the inside forwards will want to see.
Fiona Ryan using the breeze as best she can here, batted out by Kate Kilcommons. Bit loose here, eventually. Katie Gilchrist putting pressure on, but it's Leanne O'Sullivan who gets it away out to the wings. Ollie Hesnon in the middle of the park, the number 8, trying to roll it up onto her stick for Galway. Referee sees a bit of holding and goes in and blows his whistle. Perhaps nothing happening. And eventually he does give the free to Galway, Hesnon being held. So it'll be Katie Gilchrist who will take this. Got a goal and 2 in the first 15 minutes of the match against Meath. A tough match for Galway in their semi-final, played down in Kilkenny on the day of the All-Ireland football final. And that is beautifully over. Really nice striker of the ball.
And again, a lovely free from distance, and you know, both sets of teams I suppose have to be conscious of fouling and giving away frees anywhere within 65 from the middle of the field. You know, both free takers well capable of putting them over from distance.
Well, the target of the puck out that time was probably Caitlin Hickey, but it doesn't work out initially. Lisa Casserly has it. Plays it forward, Olwen Rabbit. Good scoring record this year of Olwen Rabbit. Nothing happening immediately here. Rachel Harty trying to win that ball. Helped out by Hayley Ryan. But stolen for Galway by Laura Loughnane, who got the opening point of the match. And that one is driven to the left, and that is the first wide of the game by Galway.
Yeah, and Cork really quick with the restart there against Stephanie Bosang, straight from the wide ball out to Gillian O'Leary on the right-hand wing.
And O'Leary drives it down. Lauren Homan, a point scorer already, being marked there by Ciara Donoghue. Played in the last intermediate final that Galway were involved in. This is forward towards Cleanna O'Callaghan. Nice turn by O'Callaghan from Newton Chandrum. Looking to get space, crowded out well. Good work by the backs, really good work. Nice combined play by Galway to get that ball away. And Katie Anna Porter drives it into the middle of the park. One back by Caitlin Hickey. Delivered to the left to Siobhan Hutchinson. Hutchinson distributes, breaks down, however. Ciara Donoghue able to get onto it quickly. Looks up, tries to see where Niamh McPeak is, out of the wings here, where she's been marked there by Kate Kilcommons of Cork. And it's, in the end, Gillian O'Leary, under a lot of pressure, out over the line. Line ball will be to Cork.
Yeah, Gillian O'Leary did really well there just to get the clearance on that and forced a little block just to get them the sideline ball over there, but a missed goal opportunity certainly from Cork at the far end there a few seconds ago. You know, probably Cian O'Callaghan probably had a player over on her right had she chosen to take her, and chose to take it on herself. Couldn't quite get the shot away, and it was a chance that was snuffed out eventually by Galway.
Line ball to be taken by Rachel Harty from Ballyhay. Still in there. Joanne Casey at the end of it. Hayley Ryan there too. Casey lobbing it in. Oh, that was a dangerous ball. Lauren Homan. Galway got away with it. They bring it out. Still under pressure there from Lauren Homan. Galway backs eventually deal with it. Ciara Hickey soloing away out of trouble there, but it was hearts in the mouth stuff for some of the Galway fans here. Aisling Maloney, who is the sweeper at the back for Cork, the extra player back there. Coming across here is Olwen Rabbit, linking up there with Katie Manning. Manning hooked well by Joanne Casey. Goes the second time, more pressure coming on. In the middle of the park there, it's Ali Hesnon. Tegan Canning. That ball runs loose. There's a chance here for Lauren Calden. Calden has players looking for it, gets it forward as far as Cian O'Callaghan again. Her second attempt at scoring, going forward, 3 players against her. Referee blows the whistle. It'll be a free in. She was being hauled back.
Yeah, and Cork have just started to threaten a little bit up front at the minute. And I suppose that clash in the middle of the field between Lauren Callan and Tegan Canning just shows the experience versus the youth. You know, Lauren Callan was able to just shove Tegan Canning aside, get that ball forward, and you know, Cork are starting to look a little bit threatening up front, and it's the second opportunity Cian O'Callaghan has had. Here's her previous one, I think, a long ball in across into Lauren Homan, and Niamh Ryan did well to recover there, and the goal had to come out a long way off it, but certainly a chance that Cork will feel they could have got something out of.
Well, they are going to eventually get a free out of all of this. And it'll be Joanne Casey again who will take it. 3 frees taken so far by the Inniscarra player. So looking now to level the match once again here. And that one is gone to the left, and that one has been missed, and that is Cork's first wide of the match. So a wide apiece. Galway hold on to their lead. Short puck out as far as Ciara Hickey, and the 18-year-old about to be confronted there by Lauren Homan, and Homan gets a body in there with a stick as well, tries to block her path. Eventually Ciara Donoghue coming out to try and help. Hayley Ryan trying to win it back for Cork. All a little indecisive. Katie Manning finally belted downfield. Galway with the wind, remember, for the opening 30 minutes. Cork's Aisling Maloney there, running into trouble. And once again it is Laura Loughnane. And that one is swept away to the right-hand side. It's their second wide. Still 5 points to 4. Galway in front in this All-Ireland Intermediate final. Cork goes short, this time out as far as Gráinne Hannon. She's one of the Corsi Rovers players. Nicely forward to Leanne O'Sullivan. Now an opportunity maybe. She gets it under control to do something with this. Right across the field. Galway able to win it back. Strong play there by Jennifer Hughes. Down as far as Niamh McPeak. They were on an advantage, and I wonder, is the referee going to give the free from where the ball has landed, or going to bring it back? It'll be Galway's possession anyway.
Yeah, and I think he's going to give it from where Niamh McPeak was fouled inside. You know, I think Niamh O'Leary was conscious enough there that she'd come a good way from the goal, and there was a lot of space in behind her. If Niamh McPeak had gone around her, there was nothing between her and Stephanie Bassang in the goal. So I think probably happy to concede the free where she conceded it rather than risk anything major inside.
So leaving the responsibility once again to Katie Gilchrist. Looked away immediately, a nod from one umpire to the other, waved the white flag. She's having a very good match so far. 3 pointed frees. That's a goal and 16 that she scored in this year's campaign. Young player who will be heading to college in September, I gather. Stephanie Bosang from Killa pucking it out into the middle of the park. Cork winning it there. Joanne Casey trying to get the measure of Ciara Hickey. Nicely done by Joanne Casey. She may have missed one from a free a little while ago. She's missed nothing else, and now she's got a fourth, and that's her first to come from open play.
Yeah, certainly made up for it on that occasion. Did really well to just keep it moving along the ground in front of her, keep it in front of her, and eventually made some space for herself to get away and get the shot away, and that's better from Cork up front.
18 lively minutes are gone here at Croke Park. Galway shading it. Galway looking to try and make the best of their next attack here, if they can. Loughnane trying to block it in there. Aisling Maloney trying to win it back for Cork. It's gone out over the sideline, and the end result is going to be a line ball to the Rebelettes. It's so interesting that there have been so many different teams who've won this championship in recent years. I make it 12 different winners of the Jack McGrath Cup for the intermediates in the last 12 years. Some record. And Cork looking to try and win it back. Galway disappointed to have left here 3 years ago without that Jack McGrath Cup in their possession. Well, they're ahead at the moment, as you can see, by 6 points to 5, applying an awful lot of pressure. Tegan Canning won back in the end, however, by Cork, trying to regain something of a foothold in the half-back line, but it goes loose to Jennifer Hughes, looking to link up, play that ball forward there. Driven in by Katie Manning. McPeak trying to steal a march on the two full backline players. Comes back out, however. Nicely done. Laura Loughnane. So economic in her approach. Nice, neat, tidy play. And that's her second point. And Galway lead by 2.
Yeah, and just a little bit of indecisiveness from the start there from Cork at the back. You know, probably left that opportunity there for Galway. It was one they probably should have had under control and should have done better with at the back. But look, a little bit of indecisiveness at the minute, I think, with Cork, with that extra player. They're just not really making it count, but a massive battle around the middle of the field.
And that battle is going to continue right now, because Joanne Casey has got her possession. And that one driven wide. Not quite sure what she was hoping to achieve there, but didn't achieve anything, and it's a second wide by Cork.
Yeah, I think there might have been a little bit of a hook on it just as the shot was getting away. I think maybe, was it Katie Anna Porter got in just as nice as the little hooks on her and just forced that shot out wide, so some superb defending from her there.
Cork making gradual progress anyway up along that sideline. Looking to try and get the next score now. It'll be Rachel Harty will take this. She's been a winning underage soccer coach as well with Treaty United in Limerick in the under-17 competition, but a very fine camogie player. Nicely in to Hayley Ryan. Ryan trying to escape the clutches of 2 or 3 Galway players, and in the end didn't make the connection that she was hoping for, and sends it wide number 3 by Cork. Still they trail by 7 points to 5.
Yeah, superb defending, and then again there from Galway, you know, saw the danger, smothered the player in possession, and that's something Ciara Hickey is really good at. You know, she's playing as that spare player, but if she sees danger, she's out to smother it quickly and put pressure on the ball carrier.
Galway winning it again. Again, it's the Air Court player who drives it in here, and that's going to run a little bit short by Laura Loughnane. Controlled by Stephanie Bosang, swept out as far as Gillian O'Leary. And O'Leary sends it way down the field, but the other cornerback this time, it's Cueva Starr, member of the famous Starr family from Killimore, collecting that one. Gillian O'Leary in a little bit of difficulty with that, trying to get it under control. In the end, out over the sideline from her boot. There is the Galway manager, who's Cathal Murray, and he did it also, didn't he, Elaine, during the semi-final? I remember down in Kilkenny, sat up in the stand for the first half.
Yeah, he tends to sit up in the stand, and depending how the game is going, whether he comes down for the second half or not. But you know, he's got a strong backroom team there, and Molly Dunn is probably patrolling the sideline there in his absence, so I'm sure they're in communication, and certainly if Cathal is needed on the sideline before this game is over, you'll expect to see him down close enough to her.
I'm very certain. So it's going to be another free for Galway, and it'll be Katie Gilchrist again to take it from Shamrocks. This is her debut season as an intermediate player. Playing well so far, 3 pointed frees out of Galway's tally of 7. Referee has just, I think there's a lot, I think it's kind of an unofficial water break, is it? I see water bottles being handed in. This happened as well in the last match. It's a very warm day, about 20 degrees.
Yeah, I think the ref was the one maybe most in need of the water there on that occasion. He's gone into his umpire, was coming out to him with a bottle. But yeah, certainly some of the players around the field taking the opportunity to get some water on board. As I said, it's very warm out there, very warm down the pitch side, slight breeze there, but the heat is still very, very intense.
That's common sense. So after a little break, liquid on board, everybody able to continue for the remaining 7 minutes of this first half. And it'll be a Katie Gilchrist free, which will be the next thing we will see. And the 19-year-old rises it well and effortlessly, or seemingly effortlessly, strikes it over the crossbar. So 4 for her, and Galway now lead by 3.
Yeah, and I suppose, look, as I said, a lot of ball that Cork have been in control of there. They've left it bobble around and eventually conceded frees, and Katie Gilchrist is going to punish you on the scoreboard if you give her those opportunities. Galway
looking to win this competition. It started, I think, in 1992 for the 4th time. Cork looking for a 5th win in this. That was Ciara Hickey driving it down, but out over the sideline. So Galway end up getting the free hit. It'll be Jennifer Harty who will take it. Jennifer, who made her debut this year against Laois, the opening match. Galway had 8 points to spare in the finish of that. In the middle of the park, it's Jennifer again who goes in, Jennifer Hughes. This time helped by Lisa Casserly, the captain. Claire has played international soccer as well. Nicely down here for Niamh McInerney. Made a big impact in the match against Meath when she came on. They still have Laura Kelly in reserve. She got a goal and 3 in that. Stalemate. Referee eventually will be forced to throw the ball in. And just about 5 minutes now to go to the half-time break. Rachel Harty lining up there alongside Tegan Canning in the yellow helmet for Galway. Cork have it. Pops around there. Nobody able to get complete control on it just yet. Dropped by Jennifer Hughes. And then won back again by her. Gives it out to Laura Loughnane. She's been doing a lot of damage, but this time that shot goes wide. That's Galway's 3rd wide, but she has scored twice.
Yeah, and Cork won't be happy with the defending there again. You know, got a lot of players sucked into that ruck and left Laura Loughnane out the end of it, you know, and she was unlucky that one didn't go over the bar from her. But from a Cork point of view, you know, spare players waiting to take shots on the goal.
This is down near the sideline again, and left there by Katie Anna Porter, knowing that it's going to be a line ball, which will be hit by her colleague Ciara Hickey. Galway established a foothold early on in this match, got those 2 early points. Cork managed to draw a level on a few occasions, but there's been that gap there now for several minutes. Katie Gilchrist, Cork's extra player back there. Aisling Maloney able to come across, take it. Cork winning it, bringing it out here through Gráinne Hannon. Now collected neatly by Caitlin Hickey, and off she goes. Looked over her shoulder to see whether there would be a possible block on it. Nobody near her. Lovely shot. That's a smashing point. That's a bit of leadership, and it's exactly what Cork needed, because they haven't scored since the 18th minute. So they've got 8.5 minutes without scoring.
Exactly, and that's what Caitlin Hickey brings to this Cork team. You know, came really, really deep to win that ball, and then took on the defence when it had opened up in front of her, and is well able to strike from distance. Better distribution, better use of the ball from Cork, from their backs when they have that spare player there, and that's what they need to do more of.
It's eventually Owen Rabbit who takes that ball out of that ruck of players. Niamh McInerney trying to apply some pressure on the Cork defenders, make it a bit more difficult for them. And eventually it is Cork who get that ball out. Gráinne Hannon swept away in the end up towards Hayley Ryan, and there might have been a bump by Hayley on her immediate opponent, and she can shake her head, but the referee has seen the foul on Katie Anna Porter. So Galway's free hit from their own 45-metre line.
And you could see what Cork were trying to do again on that occasion, is to use the space that's up there, you know, spread it nice and wide, try and avoid Ciara Hickey at the back as the spare player, and just try and get their pacey forwards onto it. Hayley Ryan unlucky on that occasion just to clip heels there and to concede the free.
Well, there is an injury which is to Gráinne Hannon, very well regarded cornerback Gráinne from Corsi Rovers. That's the club in Ballinspittle. Although I think in the game in the semi-final match against Derry, I think she spent much of that playing out of the half-back line. So there's going to be a change, and Michelle Murphy is coming on in place of Siobhan Hutchinson. First change made. She had been programmed to start. Player has struck a goal and 3 against Kildare in the group stages. Another Blackrock player.
Yeah, Michelle has gone straight back into the centre forward position, and Caitlin Hickey now has come out to the left half forward position. So Michelle back in where she was originally picked to start, and I suppose Caitlin now seeing if she can get some joy from the wing and the Galway defence.
Katie Gilchrist has gone way, rather as the goalkeeper. Fiona Ryan is going to take this one. Popping it in. Aisling Maloney coming across, keeping Niamh McPeak at bay. But out over the line, and once again it'll be a line ball which will be to the tribeswomen. Trevor Coleman, who is the manager, as he was saying in the interview with Valerie Wheeler earlier on, first occasion for him to manage a team at Croke Park, so a big day. This line ball is going to be hit in by Jennifer Hughes for Galway. Tries to go lateral towards Katie Gilchrist. Won well by Katie, gives it off to Laura Loughnane, and that one drops in and over the crossbar. Having a very good first half. That's 3 for her.
She's really thriving out around the half forward line there. You know, she's moved out, she's wearing 15, but she's moved out around the half forward line, and she's covering all the ground out there and getting on a lot of open ball. And as I said, she's had 3 shots at the post and 3 points now.
This one goes short out to Gillian O'Leary for Cork, and they work it into the centre to Rachel Harty. They're 3 points adrift. Harty puts her head down, then dispossessed by Lisa Casserly. Lovely little flick by Casserly. Does well, goes after it herself. 2 minutes of additional time being announced by Jerry Grogan, the stadium announcer. Well, that was a lovely piece of dispossession by Lisa Casserly just a moment ago there, as Cork were looking to try and make some inroads.
Yeah, and Cork probably putting themselves under a little bit of undue pressure there. You know, won the initial short puck out and then played it right back across into a crowded middle of the field and put pressure on Harty straight away. And as I said, a lovely little bit of skill there from Lisa Casserly to dispossess her and force the turnover and then force the foul, and a chance again now for Katie Gilchrist.
Katie has got 4 points today, a goal and 17 in all. Her goal coming against Meath. And that one is up, and it's over the crossbar. Well, a couple of their forwards are really able to turn it on. Katie Gilchrist from the freeze, and the number 15, Laura Loughnane, from open play.
Yeah, they're the 2 key players for Galway up front so far. When you think they have the likes of Lauren Kelly still on the bench, maybe to be introduced at some stage, you know, you'd imagine Cork now are just going on for the squeeze on just to half time and stay in touch.
Katie Manning won that well, or the wing back delivers it down, nicely caught. Taken away out of danger here by Gillian O'Leary. Then she was hooked, having to go again as Loughnane, who was in there to challenge her, trying to win this one. Again, a little pile up, waiting for it to pop back out is Katie Gilchrist for Galway. Cork there in numbers. Gráinne Hannon just looking to get that ball away and struggling at times to get it into the middle of the field, but now it's as far as Caitlin Hickey, and that's a great block by Lisa Casserly. Eventually Cork managed to get it forward up there towards Cleona O'Callaghan. O'Callaghan winning this one, hand passing it off here as far as Lauren Holman has scored already. Cork need a late score just to energise their chances in this match, and that is the 2nd point by Lauren Holman. It breathes life back into their challenge once again, and it's 10 points to 7.
Yeah, and it was a lovely little play initially from Caitlin Hickey out on the wing here in front of us. Looked up and thought about putting the ball down the line, realised that the spare player was there and switched it across, and that's what Cork need to do more of in the second half.
It's the final score of the first half as well. Galway will be the happier at the break. The teams were level on 2 occasions, but as they go in here to the dressing rooms, it is Galway who hold the advantage here at half-time. It's Cork 7 points, it's Galway 10. Marie and the panel will have lots to say about this when we come back right after this.
tense and tight in Croke Park with Galway leading by 3. Galway did get off to a flying start and had 4 points in 6 minutes. Joanne Casey is looking very dangerous on the place balls, as is Katie Gilchrist for Galway. Well, I hope that you can all hear us here in studio, because there are hundreds of children out on the pitch marching around, and it is a great sight, and they're making a lot of noise. It is absolutely brilliant to see so many kids. I don't think I've ever seen, Anne-Marie, as many children out on the pitch at half-time in a game.
Yeah, no, the Camogie have done this pre-COVID as well, and it's a fantastic chance for girls, I suppose, to get a chance to come out in Croke Park, and brings a crowd on the day as well, and such a fine day now as well. The excitement, isn't that what every young girl wants, is a chance to get out in Croke Park and keep the hunger alive for Camogie?
Absolutely, they're waving there at their friends and family, and I'm sure they think that one day and hope that they'll be out there on for the big day as well. So, Anne-Marie, it is Galway leading here in this intermediate final. What are your thoughts on their first half performance?
Look, I think Galway have looked dangerous. The two sets of forwards have looked dangerous, to be honest, up front. Katie Gilchrist has been phenomenal on frees, 5 frees, long range, closer distance in. Laura Lucknan as well, very impressive. But again, when Cork, you felt that danger. When Cork started to run at Galway, you could feel the threat there. Both teams playing with a +1 or a sweeper and trying to avoid that.
And at that fast start that Galway got off to, so they had 4 points on the board in 6 minutes. And in fairness to them, have built on that as well.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's always brilliant to see. It's 4 different scorers as well, and like at the start of any game when nerves are high, what you want is players starting really quickly. And in fairness, like Laura Lucknan had them off to a brilliant start. Tegan Canning, of course, her uncle Joe and Ollie, like they would have her well briefed as well, I'm sure. She scored in every game, but it was the way in which they created the space themselves, the brilliant diagonal ball across that really tested Cork from the very word go. And I think even the likes of Niamh McPeak there, she's causing trouble every time the ball gets in. So even though the Cork half backline to me are doing really well, when the ball goes in behind their heads, that's when Galway are starting to capitalise. And like Katie Gilchrist, she's the 2022 Connacht Puck Father champion for any reason. So from a Cork point of view, they need to be worried, because she's going to put those balls over from long range as a free taker as well. So they need to be that little bit more disciplined and calm when they're going in for the tackle, because she already has 5 points scored from frees.
Yeah, she looks dangerous every time she's on the ball. Ursula, Cork are going with the running game. Are they getting enough joy from it?
They're probably not doing it consistently enough in the first half, but when they have, it's worked a treat, and it's what I would associate with any Cork Camogie team. It's playing to their strengths. Look at Lauren Callanan running at the heart of the Galway defence, wins a free, a brilliant free. Again, we see here again Lauren on the ball, takes on the defence, and you know, it puts Galway on the back foot immediately, and they get a win a free from it. And they need to do it more often in the second half, because I think Galway look quite vulnerable when Cork do it. Joanne Casey, as we mentioned before the game, you know, one of the leading players for Cork, and she's got a couple of scores from frees, but this point from play is exceptional. You know, she takes ownership and responsibility to take the score. And Caitlin Hickey, who, you know, was named to start then, you know, she's using all her experience again, scoring from distance. She realises she's got the pace, the strength, the capability to take on Galway, and got a great score.
Cork are intelligent with their use of the ball too.
Yeah.
Ciara Hickey is the floating player. She was player of the match in the semi-final. She hasn't got a sniff of the ball really. They've tried to use the space, putting diagonal balls, looking up, heads up hurling, you know, not afraid to take on their players.
Well, there's only 3 points in it, all to play for. Do stay with us. We're going to take a very quick break now, and we'll be back with the second half of the All-Ireland Intermediate Final. Who will be crowned All-Ireland Camogie champions? Find out right here when Kilkenny and Cork do battle at 4:15 p.m. The player of the match will be revealed on the Sunday game tonight. That starts on RTE2, and the player at 9:30. Coverage of the European Swimming Championships begins on Thursday at 8 a.m. on the RTE News channel. You can follow the Irish contestants in action at the European Championships live from Munich. Coverage begins Thursday on RTE2 at 4:30. Then at 11:20 you can watch highlights of all the swimming action at 11:20 on RTE2. Okay, we can see the teams are coming out there. Look, we're talking about experience, Anne-Marie, and we know that Colin Murray has a lot of it. Trevor Coleman, first time managing out there. Who do you think is going to make changes at half-time?
I definitely see Galway ringing in some changes. Shannon Corcoran and Cora Kenny, a Sarsfields duo, and Laura Kelly from Salthill, Knockahara. 3 of those have previous experience already this year playing with their clubs in All-Ireland final day in Croke Park. So I think we're going to see those come on shortly.
Anne-Marie or Anna?
Yeah, like I think definitely for me, I was actually quite surprised that Laura Kelly didn't start. Much like Caitlin Hickey, she made a massive impact off the bench. Now I presume they're saving her as an impact sub, so I'd expect to see her here because she got 1-3 against Meath in the semi, and she's a really exciting player and she will run at Cork.
And Rachel O'Shea for Cork, she came off the bench in the semi-final, got a crucial score, so that could be an option for Cork in the second half.
Okay, well, let's now rejoin Ger and Elaine for the second half.
Thanks indeed, Marie. Yeah, no changes from what we can see so far. No goals either, of course. Galway have scored 14 championship goals in the 6.5 matches now. Cork hit 12. Galway's defence played a key role in their success, I think, as well this year. They didn't concede a goal, you know, in the 5 group games. Meath beat them twice, got 2 green flags in that. Cork have conceded 5 goals in their 6.5 match campaign so far. So it's 10-7, Galway leading. Started the second half. Gavin Donegan from Dublin is the match referee. About to throw the ball in, but he wants everybody into the correct positions. Second half underway. Cork with the aid of the breeze now for the second half, and Caitlin Hickey gets her hands on the ball immediately. Knocks it back out here as far as Gillian O'Leary. Cork looking to make a bright start to the second 30 minutes. And that's got all the way in, touched a Cork hand maybe, but wide of the target. And that's 4 wides now by Cork.
Yeah, and a little bit more direct from them straight away from the puck out there. Really well won by Caitlin Hickey. Lovely ball off to Gillian O'Leary, and probably just again the distribution into that full forward line just not quite what it needs to be.
Katie Manning for Galway, driving it up into the corner, up towards Niamh McInerney. Niamh who made a major impact in the semi-final when she came on alongside Laura Kelly. As the panel were mentioning, Laura held in reserve still. Tegan Canning, this time it's Kate Kilcommons. Hit away into the middle of the park. Cork now able to take this ball forward. It's Joanne Casey, scorer of 4 points in the first half. An extra Galway player back there, Ciara Donoghue, able to take control of it, link up with Cueva Starr. And Starr hits it in the middle of the park. Cork players coming across, making it theirs. That's Lauren Calden from Glen Rovers. Down as far as Lauren Homan. Did well in the first half, Homan. Holds off the challenge of Katie Anna Porter. Hits this one, but it's just gone the outside of the upright. And it's gone wide, and Cork with a wide as well.
Yeah, Laura Homan looking really threatening inside forward. You know, she got 3 points in that semi-final victory. Cork probably needs to try and work a little bit better ball into her in there. She looks to be dangerous when she gets the ball, but just hasn't quite got the supply yet.
Nicely caught in the middle of the park by Ali Hesnan. Not able to make any headway, however. Cork dispossessed Galway. Have it back again. And it's hit in there by Michelle Murphy, her first contribution since coming on. One back here by Cork, and that's under-hit by Hayley Ryan, easily taken by her namesake Fiona Ryan, Galway's goalkeeper. Hitting it forward here. It was intended for Laura, or Oban Rabbit rather. Lauren Calden now storming forward here. Good work. Challenged by 2 Galway players, and they brought her down, but what is the referee doing? He's deciding that she was the one who was guilty in that instance.
Yeah, look, Laura Homan again with a good run from the middle of the field, and look, her progress looked to be held up, but it's that age-old rule in Camogie that the player in possession needs to avoid that tackle. But look, I thought he probably could have let the play go on a little bit, but Cork started the second half a little bit better. They're doing a little bit better in possession, but just haven't quite made a count on the scoreboard yet.
Elaine, most hurling people would find that ruling pretty strange.
Most Camogie Marie would find it pretty strange too, if I'm honest here.
Free anyway, which Fiona Ryan is going to take, the Galway goalkeeper. Going to bounce there in front of Kate Kilcommons. Looks across, over there looking for Caitlin Hickey. Leaving a major imprint on this game, Caitlin. Down there to a 2-person inside forward line. And the one who collects it here is Lauren Homan. Homan trying to make inroads. Tricky one in there. difficult one for the defenders to deal with. Cleona O'Callaghan didn't quite manage to get that ball under her control, and in the end it is Ali Hesnan who's back helping out, sweeping it away over the far side, out of danger but out of the field as well. Line ball to Cork.
Yeah, and that's definitely a let off for Galway at the back. You know, Cork will be disappointed they didn't capitalise on that one. There was a good opportunity, and I suppose it just didn't break properly. A great ball across initially from Lauren Holman. You know, realised that the shot, the angle had gone too narrow for her. She wasn't going to get the point away, so played the ball back across the square, and look, probably took a little bit of a lucky hop from a Galway point of view.
Cork come again, and it is Hayley Ryan back there as far as Lauren Holman, and that ball is driven nicely, accurately as well, and Holman has got herself a third. 2 in the first half, and now 1 coming here after 4 minutes of the second.
Yeah, and she looks really dangerous in there, as we said before. You know, a lovely little drink there to switch back out onto her left-hand side, and Cork probably needs to see a little bit more movement from her inside and try and hit her with as much of that ball then as they can.
And credit Hayley Ryan as well for her part in that. Caught it well, distributed smartly. Galway now looking to try and carry that ball into the Cork half of the field. It's been played very much on Cork's terms already, and that time Laura Loughnane was the one who held onto the ball too long, fell onto it, didn't release it. Free the end result, which Joanne Casey will take. Score of 4 points during the first half, 1 of them from open play. Down along towards Cleona O'Callaghan from Newton Chandrum, got there first, ahead of the quarterback. That one is not going to make it. Difficult one, however, for the fullback Ciara Donoghue to get. A tricky one. She does really well, Ciara Donoghue. Another playing in an All-Ireland Intermediate final for the second time. Got it out to Katie Anna Porter. And the referee had his hand raised, indicating that there was an advantage to Galway. Nothing was coming of it, so they will have the free.
Yeah, really well defended there by Ciara Donoghue, but you could see Joanne Casey, when she won that free right in the middle of the field, wanted to get the game going faster, was looking for a bit of movement from that inside line, and it just wasn't coming, and when it did, it was just a little bit too slow, and it let Galway get back and reset there. So, you know, I suppose a little bit of urgency required in Cork now at the moment.
More questions being asked of the Galway full back line in the opening 5-6 minutes of the second half. Once again, Fiona Ryan has been brought out to hit the long-range free for Galway. Stopped over there by Leanne O'Sullivan. Got across there into the middle. Problems there for Lauren Callan. Trying to get that ball under control here. It was Rachel Harty who was in there as well. Galway ending the stalemate by knocking it forward towards Niamh McPeak. A lot of work to do, however, to get it firmly in their possession. Rachel Harty bends to try and collect, but runs away from her. Rachel Harty there having a word or two with the official. It ends up being a line ball. The referee Gavin Donegan's got across to have a word with Liz Dempsey. Liz from Kilkenny signalling that it will be a line ball, which Tegan Canning will take. 21 years of age from Molia. And player who's studying arts in NUIG, flicks this one across towards Niamh McPeak. Gráinne Hannon trying to get it out, helped out by Michelle Murphy there for Cork. But lots of these little stalemates in the match so far. Pile up of bodies, and eventually Jennifer Hughes flicks it out, but Galway unable to make anything of that. So it'll be a line ball to Cork.
Yeah, Jennifer had seen the run of Katie Gilcrease there, and I think just tried to play it across into her, just had a little bit too much on it, and it's going to go out over the line for a line ball for Cork. But, you know, not an easy one for them to... Galway have packed that side of the field now and try and keep the ball in here as long as they can and hope to create a scoring chance for themselves.
Leanne O'Sullivan, another Glen Rovers player, hitting this one. Very good connection, but only as far as Laura Loughnane, and that's up into the air. It's to the right as well. It's the first wide of the second half by Galway, and that is their fourth. So we're going to have changes coming up pretty soon, and the change made by Cork here is to bring in Rachel O'Shea, not unexpectedly. So Rachel O'Shea is on. Cleona O'Callaghan, the number 15, is the one who makes way.
Yeah, look, I think we can expect to see a couple of changes on both teams now in the next couple of minutes, as both try to just arm wrestle a result off one another, you know, and just feel maybe a bit of fresh legs or something new in there to ask a few questions of the opposing defence.
Galway looking to soak up whatever pressure that Cork may exert in these early minutes. They certainly have players in their ranks sitting on the subs bench right now, Galway, who could do damage. Only a 2-point game. Rachel O'Shea is one of those with a decent scoring record, isn't she?
Yeah, and just as I look across now, I don't think some of the impact subs in Galway are sitting on the bench anymore. I think they're getting ready to enter the fray as well. So look, it's an All-Ireland final, you can't afford to have talent on the bench and wonder what if afterwards. So Galway looking to get 2 subs in now, I think, in the next break.
Rachel Harty hitting this one across towards Hayley Ryan. Difficult one for Hayley to contain. So back to Rachel Harty again, swinging it off her left. Has she made it? Not quite. Third wide of the second half. So we're going to have double subs coming on for Galway. And let's try and make some sense of this. We've got number 23, Laura Kelly, coming on. That's expected. Shannon Corcoran as well. She's number 27.
Yeah, no surprises there in the Galway substitutes. You know, Laura Kelly came on the last day in the semi-final and scored 1-3, so you know we were expected to see her at some stage. And I suppose Shannon Corcoran similar has had a good run with Sarsfields, has experience, as Anne-Marie said, on All-Ireland final day here in Croke Park. So look, Galway looking to get that same impact off the bench today.
Laura Kelly was here as well, a match we showed you, the intermediate club final back in April. It was Salt Hill knocked Nakara against St. Rina's from Offaly. Starring right now is Niamh McPeak for Galway, sending that beautifully in. Well, Galway haven't scored since the last minute of the first half, and now here, 10 minutes into the second, Niamh McPeak pops up with her second, and Galway stretch their lead out to 3.
Yeah, and I think Niamh O'Leary might be a little bit disappointed there that she didn't get a free on that occasion. Seemed to have the ball under control, but look, McPeak was never too far away, and when she turned it over, got the opportunity.
Kate Kilcommons for Cork. They've got work to do. Galway bring in the fresh players. This is Ciara Hickey knocking it forward carefully to Lisa Casserly. Dished off there as far as Katie Gilchrist, their free taker normally. She's also brilliant from open play, and she's now got a 6th. Very good spell by Galway.
Yeah, it's as if the introduction of those 2 substitutes, look, they'd absorbed a little bit of Cork pressure since half-time and hadn't scored themselves, but those 2 subs now look to just have revitalised them, and they look like they're about to kick on, so Cork really need to come up with a response.
Galway looking to build upon what they've achieved already. Jennifer Hughes swings on this one. Nicely forward up there towards Shannon Corcoran. Shannon Corcoran, number 27, there against 2 or 3 Cork players. Laura Kelly going in to try and help out as well. And Laura Kelly, as you mentioned, I think she got a goal and 3 in the semi-final. So she is a player of enormous potential. She's got a goal and 25 points already in this year's championship and started the day on the bench. Here's Laura Loughnane, however. Out to McPeak, scored a little while ago. Back as far as Katie Manning, driven in low. Collected there for Cork. Trying to get it out is Rachel Harty. Battling hard, winning it, getting it forward to Caitlin Hickey. Caitlin Hickey trying to win her race here. 2-3 Galway players in hot pursuit. Katie Manning, one of them, it's still, look at this, 4 against 1. So that means there must be a free player inside there, and there surely is. Rachel O'Shea. And Rachel O'Shea leaves an imprint on the game almost from the beginning. From the moment she was introduced.
Yeah, and that's better from Cork. You know, that's what they need to do more of. Caitlin Hickey did really, really well there. Won that ball under serious pressure in the middle of the field, but Kate stayed carrying it forward, kicked it on when she needed to, got it into possession again, scooped it forward. And look, we've said Lauren Homan and now Rachel O'Shea inside in that full forward line can get scores. They just need to get the right ball into them.
3 between them. Michelle Murphy, another Blackrock player, getting it across towards Caitlin Hickey. Running into 3 Galway players, however. One of them is Jennifer Hughes, stands her ground, the Carnmore player. Nicely forward, collected beautifully by Niamh McPeak. Back out towards Kate Gilchrist again, prodded away by Aisling Maloney. One back by McPeak again, under pressure. Drives it across here. They had a free player loose had they managed to locate Laura Kelly. Can't find her, however. And it's Cork who win it back, and it's Rachel Harty again, downfield towards Hayley Ryan. Beaten for it by Katie Anna Porter. Katie Anna trying to make some headway, helped out now by Jennifer Hughes. Nicely forward, they were on an advantage. I wonder, is the referee going to bring back the play? He may well do so, seeing no advantage coming to Galway. So they're going to have a free, it would appear, from the middle of the park, and more practice for Katie Gilchrist.
Yeah, and again, that was the one, you know, Cork would probably have done better with up front. They had the possession, and just, you know, great defensive there from Katie. Anna Porter, I suppose, coming out with the ball and hardly a little bit high and a little bit chopping behind there from Hayley Ryan, gave them the free and a chance, as you said, for Katie Gilchrist.
Gilchrist now firing it forward here. Dropped there by Shannon Corcoran. One back for Cork by Gráinne Hannon. Oof, intercepted cleverly there. It was intended for Gillian O'Leary. One back by Galway, by Niamh McPeak. Into the centre it comes towards Lisa Casserly. And Casserly fires it, but fires it the wrong side of the post and misses the opportunity. And that is the second wide of the second half by Galway. It's a 5th in all.
Yeah,
Stays 12-9.
Sorry, Cork just been sloppy in possession there. You know, Gráinne Hannon had that ball coming out. The pass wasn't weighted properly and was easily intercepted by Laura Loughlin. You know, they need to be more careful in possession back there.
But a quarter of an hour or thereabouts still to go here. The issue still very much in doubt, but it's advantage Galway. Leanne O'Sullivan driving it down here towards Joanne Casey. She's won it, getting there ahead of Katie Anna Porter. Hits the shot in, and that one is nicely inside the... Or is it? No! Thought it was gone in. They had a moment, the umpires, and eventually the man on the right waved it wide.
Yeah, I think it probably just dropped a little bit to the right-hand side there from Joanne Casey's shot, maybe caught on the wind a little bit, but it was better from Cork. You know, Aisling Maloney won the short puck out, found the player outside her, and they worked it up then to Joanne Casey.
Alwyn Rabbit winning this one, taking it away with her hand out to the middle as far as Lisa Casserly. Fired in low, should be a Cork possession there. Coming out with it is Aisling Maloney under a lot of pressure. Out as far as Laura Callanan. It reaches Hayley Ryan this time. Helped out. Help came in the figure of Rachel O'Shea. Already scored, and the referee blows his whistle. An unfair challenge. End result will be a free to Galway.
Yeah, I didn't see much of a free in that one there. I thought, you know, she was in possession, she was going forward. I thought she sidestepped to avoid the tackle and was going forward again. So I would have thought we would have just played on that occasion, but Gavin Johningan obviously feeling that she didn't make any attempt to avoid the tackle, so free out for Galway.
And this will be taken by Fiona Ryan, who is of course the senior sub-goalkeeper, 20 years of age. Fiona hitting this one into the inside forwards, if there were any in there at this stage to challenge for it. They're drawn back somewhat. Niamh McPeak unable to collect it. Collected, however, here by Michelle Murphy. Gets it away, out as far as Rachel O'Shea. Ready to do some damage once again. Already a point scorer, well hooked. Goes again, feeds it back as far as Joanne Casey. Very near the sideline. Casey trying to get this ball in. It'll be a great point if she can make it. Batted out by goalkeeper Fiona Ryan. That was a very difficult ball for the goalkeeper. Did really well. And Galway managed to clear their lines through Cueva Starr. Collected back here in the middle for Cork by Kate Kilcommons. Back it comes again, this time to Hayley Ryan. Ryan looks up, feeds it in. Plenty of Galway players there for it. One of them was Ciara Donoghue. And as she was getting that ball out, the referee noticed that the linesman had a flag raised on this near side, the Cusack stand side.
Yeah, Hayley Ryan, I think, just stepped out over the line before she delivered that ball in. But look, she had looked up first to look for some movement inside. There was nothing inside. She looked across the field, and, you know, credit to Galway, they got the numbers back. They'd snuffed out any opportunities there, so she had no option but to try and go along with it. And when she stepped back, she did go back out over the line. And as I said, Philip McDonald with the flag up immediately. And
Katie Manning gets a yellow card, first issued by Gavin Donegan in this game. Jennifer Hughes ready to take the line ball. 3 Cork players there applying pressure. Lauren Callanan into the middle, the wrong side of Michelle Murphy, however, ran away from her. Favours Galway. Katie Gilchrist driving it forward. The referee again with his hand raised, indicating an advantage, but it's going to be brought back.
Yeah, and the real advantage when you have a free taker of the calibre is Katie Gilchrist to be able to put the ball down and let her have a free shot at it, isn't it? You know, and Cork just getting a little bit sloppy, I suppose, around the middle of the field at the moment and conceding a couple of easy frees for her. And look, they're really failing to find any little bit of momentum up front, really.
Well, as you can see on the clock, 48.5 minutes are gone. So still 12 minutes or thereabouts as Katie Gilchrist hits this one up. It would have been an important score for her and for Galway, but it's still a one-score game. Galway's 6th wide of the match. A game which hasn't had a score, and were there to be one, you would feel it might be an important score for either of these two teams. Cork looking for something. Down they get it as far as Rachel O'Shea, the Carrigaline player, blocked down, runs in towards Caitlin Hickey. Hickey, who had a very good first half. Out again, looking for O'Shea, firing it up into the air. Sun in the eyes of the goalkeeper. Fiona Ryan does well. Clears her lines, gets it out, but gives it back to Cork again. Rachel O'Shea in to collect it. And the referee sees the foul committed by Jennifer Hughes, so it's got to be a free in for Cork. A chance for them to make it a 2-point game with 50 minutes gone nearly.
Yeah, Fiona Ryan has done really well in the Galway goal for the last 2 balls. You know, that was a difficult one enough to handle under pressure, as was the shot from Joanne Casey before that clearance on that occasion. I suppose when he found Rachel O'Shea, and you know, has been really influential since she's been introduced. She's got on a lot of ball and has won herself a free on this occasion now, and Joanne Casey a chance just to edge Cork a little bit closer.
Well, her frees in the first half were coming essentially in the first 20 minutes of the match, and this is her first of the second half. She makes the most of it. She's on 5 for the game. It's now 12 points to 10, and the Cork fans have something to cheer about.
Yeah, and a huge buck out coming up now for Fiona Ryan. You feel like Cork are going to make a surge for the line now, that they need to try and get a couple of scores on the board and just close that gap that they haven't been able to close on Galway for the past few minutes.
Galway unable to win their own puck out. It's won instead by Cork. Caitlin Hickey starting it all. Down there. Delivered into the middle here. And that final shot is after trickling to the left, and another missed opportunity.
Yeah, and just poor use of possession again. Michelle Murphy had made a brilliant run through the middle there. She was clean in front of goal. You know, she had called, she had the hurl up, but obviously Caitlin Hickey didn't see the call, and the shot came away instead, and you know, a missed opportunity for Cork.
Galway looking to mount the next attack. Laura Loughnane, 3 points in the first half. Noticed that Cork manager Trevor Coleman was calling on one of his subs, looking to inject some more energy into probably into his attack. Down here as far as Hayley Ryan, played very deep. Foul committed by Katie Manning. She's on a yellow card. Looking a little worried as the referee comes across. Nobody wants to see anybody having to leave an All-Ireland final on 2 yellow cards, but Katie Manningham has just got herself a second, and Galway are down to 14 with nearly 52 minutes gone.
Yeah, and an innocuous enough challenge, you know. I think I didn't need to see it again, but I think Hayley Ryan probably had the head down a little bit and turned into it more so than anything else. And you know, I don't think there was anything malicious in it or anything like that, but Katie Manning knew straight away, I think, that the second yellow was coming her way. So a huge opportunity now for Cork if they can seize it, and Galway will need to reshuffle the deck a little bit at the back.
Well, Cork with just 3 points so far in this second half, and that one is another one that has gone astray. It's a 9th wide. This was the challenge again here. The hand just went in, caught Hayley Ryan. Katie Manning got a second yellow for that, and a red.
Yeah, and look, when the hand goes in and it's head high, you kind of leave the referee in no doubt as to what he needs to do. You know, head high and arm high, it's a yellow card, and unfortunately for Katie, it's the second yellow.
Galway with 2 points in this second half so far. 22 minutes of action has been played. Hayley Ryan for Cork gives it away, however. That was Laura Kelly. He had to make an impact on the game since coming on about 5 or 6 minutes ago. Nicely in as far as Shannon Corcoran this time. 3 defenders against her. She does well, does extremely well, but loses possession. Referee says keep going. Once again, stalemate on the edge of the Cork D. And once more the referee is going to be forced to throw the ball in.
Yeah,
Lost
Cork,
count of the number of times that's happened.
Cork did really well there to get the numbers back. You know, Shannon Corcoran looked like she might have dipped the shoulder and might have been heading for a goal, but you know, they got the numbers back, and you can just feel that the Cork crowd now starting to get behind Cork a little bit, and they feel that maybe this one is still there for them.
Well, Galway have not scored since the 41st minute, so we've gone 12 minutes without a Galway score. Katie Anna Porter for the 14 women from Galway. trying to mount an attack. Knocked away out of danger initially there by Niamh O'Leary rather. Niamh from Brian Dillon's. Referee walks over again and once more will throw the ball in. It'll be Lauren Calnan on one side and it'll be Alwyn Rabbit on the other. Cork emerge with it. 13 minutes since a Galway score, nearly 4 minutes since a Cork one. And as you can see, we're into the final stages of this match now. Niamh McPeak has been really good earlier on in this game. That's a fine shot in there! Batted down by the goalkeeper. Lauren Kelly was onto it. It's still there to be won. Cork trying to get the ball away. Galway trying to force it in over the line. And in the end, Stephanie Bosang under pressure. Well, that was a heart-in-the-mouth moment for Cork. And a let-off for the Rebels, but a great chance for Galway.
Yeah, that could be the turning point in the game. It was a real speculative shot in from Niamh McPeak. Looked like it was heading over the bar. And look, was that horrible height for Stephanie Bosang. Brought it down, and the quickest to react inside on the edge of the square was Laura Kelly. But Ash Maloney did really, really well to get back there, as did Niamh O'Leary. And look, the danger wasn't cleared until Stephanie Bosang won this free, just coming out with the ball. And, you know, could that be the lift that maybe Cork need?
Cora Kenny has just come on. Cora has scored 4 goals and 10 points already in this year's championship. Replaces a player who's got 3 in this, Laura Loughnane. So the managers trying everything they have got, looking at their panels, saying where this match might be won at this stage. Just over 5 minutes of normal time to go, plus the usual maybe 3-4 after that of added time. Ali Hesnan for Galway, tussling there in the middle of the park with Kate Kilcommons of Cork. You're watching the concluding stages of the All-Ireland Intermediate Camogie final at Croke Park. Referee ready to restart. Rachel Harty on the left, and it'll be Ciara Hickey on the right for Galway. Bounces away from everybody, and then back into the mix again, and no great progress has been made. Eventually it is Laura Kelly who gets it for Galway, drives it out, but only as far as the extra player at the back for Cork, who's Aisling Maloney. Well, how will Cork use their extra player? Right now they're watching Lauren Holman. Is there a goal in this final? Lauren Holman goes in, taken down outside the square, ball put wide in the end by Rachel O'Shea anyway, but it wouldn't have mattered because the referee's whistle had sounded, so it's going to be a free in.
Yeah, and that's what we need to see more from Cork. You know, Galway put under pressure when they cleared that ball. No option but to clear it down right on top of Aisling Maloney. She had loads of time and space, as that's +1 at the back, and got to switch the play the whole way across here, where it was won really, really well. And, you know, Cork obviously hungry for a goal now, went straight at the heart of that Galway defence, and, you know, you sensed the goal was coming if the foul didn't come, and the foul came first, so a chance for them now to close the gap to just 1.
Ciara Hickey got a yellow card for that. I guess it was a case of making sure they didn't concede 3 points. 1 is bad enough from their point of view, but it's still, as you say, Elaine, keeps them in front, Galway. This will be taken once again by Joanne Casey. After she presumably pops this over the bar, it'll be 3 points left in it, or 3 minutes left in it. Oh, she's gone for a goal! Stop on the goal line! It's a 2-point game. Was that wise? Ali Hesnan has it, and Galway lift the siege, getting that ball out, intended there for Ciara Donoghue. Katie Anna Porter runs away from Jennifer Hughes, won back by Michelle Murphy. Murphy hand passes it to her left-hand side. Galway there storming out with it. They get possession. They get it through Lisa Casserly, their captain, who'll be hoping to lift the cup in a few minutes' time. Well, that was an interesting decision.
Yeah, strange decision from Joanne Casey there. You know, the easy option, the correct option you feel, is to take the point, put a point between it, and then try and win back the pocket. As it is, they haven't scored, and now it's Galway on the attack.
And Galway's Katie Gilchrist, and there was a foul there committed as she was going for that, so it's going to be a free in. And now if Galway put this over the bar, it'll be a 3-pointer. This is that free again now here. she was intent on getting, or
Yeah,
trying to get a goal.
she was definitely going for the goal. She wasn't aiming for the point, you know. And look, it nearly came off her, but you just think that at 10 points to 12, you know, you're a bit of momentum starting to swing to you. You've got 3 minutes left to the clock on ordinary time. You're probably going to have 2 or 3 of additional time as well. So you have 5 minutes to try and get that equalising score. And look, I think the sensible decision there would have been to put it over the bar, narrow the gap, and try and win the puck out.
Rachel Harty is at the receiving end of a yellow card. I think Fiona Ryan, the goalkeeper, got an initial touch to it, and then it seemed to me that Katie Anna Porter was on that line to eventually scoop it away for Galway. They'll be the heroines if they can manage to hold on. Galway still haven't scored since the 41st minute as Aoife O'Callaghan comes on for Cork. She's number 17, as you can see, and Hayley Ryan going off.
Yeah, and it's Joanne Casey's going right into full forward now. Cork obviously know that they need to get a goal now, and Joanne Casey obviously the one that they want to put on the edge of the square and target her in there. So substitutes come on into the half forward line, and Joanne Casey gone into the full forward line.
Katie Gilchrist ready to put this one up and over the bar. It's something like 18 minutes or thereabouts since they last scored. Gilchrist with her 7th. So more changes, and Alana Kelly, number 19, comes on for Galway.
And it's the score taker, Katie Gilchrist, who's just gone off there now as well. So, you know, her afternoon's work done, and it's a fine afternoon. I think it's 7 points. I have her down for, you know, 6 frees and 1 from play. So, look, Galway obviously trying to just find something now just to close out the last couple of minutes.
Cork ready to give it one last go here before we head into stoppage time. Galway looking to repel them. Here's an opportunity. There'll be 4 minutes of additional time as Rachel O'Shea drops it in. It comes off the post, comes down to Ali Hesnan for Galway. Challenge there by Joanne Casey, and Galway once again get away with that one.
Yeah, off the post and back on Ali Hesnan, quickest to react there, but really composed to win it out under pressure from Joanne Casey and work it out through the lines then, and you just feel a little bit of a surge in Galway now coming to near the end.
Then it's Shannon Corcoran playing that ball in. One back of in by Niamh McPeak, and that's driven up, but driven to the right and missed. She has got 2, however. That's 7 wides by Galway. Cork come again now, last couple of minutes here. Deep into the first minute of stoppage time. Rachel O'Shea once again. In it comes to Kate Kilcommons. Kilcommons hitting, but well wide. They're trying everything at this late stage, but there are still 3 between them.
Yeah, Rachel O'Shea did really well there again, you know, and again it came from the quick puck out from Stephanie Bossang, worked down the line again, but just a little bit of lack of composure up front there, you know, trying to force maybe the goal from Kate Cummins. She would have been better maybe to carry it and try and engineer something greater, but the shot that came off just wasn't good enough.
Well, right from the word go in this match, Galway have been in front, been level a couple of times during the first half, but Cork have always been chasing this match, and they are still chasing it with about 2.5 minutes of stoppage time still to go. Michelle Murphy sending it out here as far as Rachel Harty. About to be challenged there by Alana Kelly. Harty down into the corner. Picked up here by Rachel O'Shea for Cork. Strong challenges coming in. O'Shea is on an advantage, nothing coming there. The referee is going to give a free in to Cork for that foul on Rachel O'Shea.
Yeah, and this is another decision maker now for Joanne Casey. You know, it's not an easy free out on the 21, no doubt about the free. A high hurling again up over the head, and a great show. She's been on a lot of balls since she's come on here, so just Joanne Casey look for a little bit of movement across the square now and try and engineer a goal out of this one, given that we're in the 62nd minute, you know, 2 minutes of injury time to go.
Yeah, it really is a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not the easiest to freeze. She looks like she's going to try and point it and then maybe win the puck out, but she certainly had an easier chance a few minutes ago.
Sure did. Joanne Casey, 5 points so far in the game, 4 of them from frees. Can she make it? She's got it. They're still alive, just about. The Rebelettes in the intermediate final against Galway. His team, however, still 2 points down.
Yeah, and this is the massive puck out now. You know, you feel if Galway can win this one and work it up the field, that they'll be home and hose, and Cork need to win it back, and they need to engineer a goal out of it.
Fiona Ryan with just over a minute of the 4 still to go. Galway looking to try and hold on in the middle of the park, stymie Cork as best they can. Cork need possession. Aisling Maloney trying to kick it out of that ruck of players. One back again. This time it's Laura Kelly. Kelly, who was on the losing Salthill team here in the club intermediate final back in April, wants to be a winner here on a return to Croke Park. And Galway now are going to have to withstand this late finish by Cork. It'll be a free in for the Rebels. They've got to try and get a goal out of this because they're rapidly running out of seconds. We're into the last 30 seconds. Aisling Maloney lobs it in. Galway look to win it. Have they got it? Ciara Donoghue. Cork have it. It was Joanne Casey coming in. And Galway take it out, and it's away by Alana Kelly for them. And the referee gives a free out for Galway, and they're feeling it's almost like a win, that whistle. Not quite the final whistle just yet. Nearly, though.
Yeah, huge moments there. The Laura Kelly free initially in the middle of the field. You know, she had no choice but to carry it herself. She was the furthest Galway forward on her own 65. The free in then from Aisling Maloney, and Galway looked to have dealt with it. Joanne Casey went down just on the edge of the square, and it was play on, but Galway did really, really well to retain possession. And we feel as we take over the 64th minute now that this is it for Galway. If they can launch this one down, that they'll have won it.
There can't be much left in this. Goalkeeper Fiona Ryan launches it. Referee Gavin Donegan sounds the whistle, and Galway win the All-Ireland Intermediate Camogie Championship for 2022. Winners for the first time in 3 years. Cathal Murray's side, a county for Cork, and winning the title for the 4th time in their history. They were never behind. They were level a couple of times during the first half, but they always have the wherewithal to withstand whatever Cork were able to throw at them. Cork had an opportunity late on in the game, a late free by Joanne Casey. She went for a goal instead of a point, which might have made it much more exciting right at the finish. But it was a gripping drama from a Galway point of view. And Elaine, they are the champions at intermediate level once again.
Yeah, look, and I think it was probably an intermediate All-Ireland that didn't really sparkle into life. You know, both of these teams had really successful campaigns coming through the group stages. We're both lucky to come out of their semi-finals in dare enough circumstances. You know, probably didn't express the hurling that we know they're both capable of. And look, they probably nullified one another for a lot of that game today, and it never sparkled into life that we saw the forwards that could possibly score. But look, I think it was Galway that made the most of it in that early running early on. And you know, Katie Gilcreast's free taking ability, Laura Loughlin's 3 points from play were ultimately the difference. You know, Joanne Casey equally as impressive on frees from Cork, and probably looked that decision to go for the goal rather than the point is maybe what will hinge on it. Look, who knows what would have happened, but it would have put one score between them, would have put a point between them, and certainly would have made Cork's life a little bit easier coming down the home straight. But Galway deserve it on the day of their victory.
And it's a Galway team that finished with just 14 players on the park as well, remember. But they finished their 7-match programme at intermediate level unbeaten and champions. And the final score reads Cork 11 points, Galway 13. Galway are the champions, winners for the 4th time.
So an intermediate All-Ireland title for Galway, and Marie. It didn't sparkle into life, as Elaine said, but sometimes winning those really tight All-Irelands can be very satisfying.
Yeah, I felt Galway really grounded out there towards the end. You know, the couple of points that Galway got early in the second half were vitally important. I think the bench did make an impact when they came on there. Alana Kelly, she came on out with that last ball there, and like we kind of forget, they were reduced to 14 players there for 15 minutes in the second half. Shannon Corkin, when she came on out in front, she won a couple of seriously important balls that went into her corner, and Laura Kelly as well. Galway, I'm sure, delighted to have gotten over the line in a very tight affair.
Ursula, as a neutral, we have tasked you with choosing the player of the match. Who did you go for?
Yeah, look, there could have been a number of options, but we all kind of felt in the second half in particular, Lisa Casterly played a captain's part. She made some really surging, powerful runs out of defence and set up some of the attacks, and she was brilliant throughout. But in particular, when Galway really, really needed someone to stand up and be a leader, she was there.
Well, Lisa is standing by with Valerie.
Lisa, first of all, congratulations. Galway are All-Ireland champions. How does that make you feel?
There's no words, it's unbelievable. These girls have just been fantastic throughout this championship, and I'm just so proud of each and every one of them today. They were just unbelievable out there.
It was a tense and tight game. Cork battled right till the very end.
Yeah, look, we knew coming up here that Cork were going to be such a battle. Cork had an unbelievable campaign themselves, and we knew it wasn't going to be easy out here, and it definitely wasn't, but I'm just glad the girls stood up to the challenge.
For yourself as captain, how does that make you feel? You're going to go up the steps of the Hogan and lift a trophy in a couple of seconds.
Yeah, very emotional, but I'm so proud and honoured and privileged. Just this team has been unbelievable all year, and yeah, I'm just delighted to get over the line.
I'm sure you'll celebrate well now for the rest of the week.
Oh, we are looking forward to it, yeah.
Well, congratulations, you are the Glen Dimplex player of the match. Here's Carmel Naughton, and she's going to present you with your trophy. Well done, Lisa.
Absolutely fantastic to see Lisa there, and when you look at her and everything that she's achieved, not just in Camogie, Anna, as well, but she's a fantastic soccer player. Like, we're seeing so many of those athletes now excelling across the board.
Absolutely, and much like what Ursula alluded to earlier, when it came for somebody to step up and take the game by the scruff of the neck, she did it. She came out with some excellent ball there, like winning rucks. I think sometimes that's more valuable than putting a score over the bar. And she really led by example in a captain's role. But much like the first game in the Premier Junior, I mean, the average age of this Galway team is 20. And it just showed, like, that youth, they mightn't have had as much experience, but they really kept on plugging at Cork, and Cork could never just breach that 2-point gap. And I suppose really Joanne Casey was...
Okay, well, let's hand over to Ger now for the trophy lift.
Yeah, as you say, Lisa Casserly is just about to receive the trophy from Hilda Breslin, who is the Uachtaráin of Camogie Uachta.
I'd just like to say brilliant well done to both teams. Congratulations to Galway. A big thank you to our match officials led by Gavin Donegan from Trinity Gales in the middle, and a big thank you to our Glen Dimplex sponsors and RT, our media sponsors. It gives me enormous pleasure to present the Glen Dimplex Intermediate K-Mills Cup to the captain of Galway, Lisa Casserly.
So Lisa Breslin, the Uachtaráin of Camogie Uachta, hands over the Jack McGrath Cup to Lisa Casserly. Galway are the All-Ireland Intermediate Champions for 2022. They have won it for the 4th time in their history, and very deserving winners at that.
It's brilliant for Cathal Murray, Anne-Marie. You mentioned youth. We're seeing a little tiny baby there on the pitch as well. And plenty of role models there for that baby to follow in their footsteps. But Anne-Marie, for Cathal Murray there, we saw how disappointed he was after the All-Ireland semi-final. It can't have been easy for him to pick up again, get back into the intermediate setup. They train with the seniors, and to lift them and bring them up here again.
But then maybe it was a great distraction for him the week after losing an All-Ireland semi-final, and very disappointing to go back into a squad like this. So much youth and enthusiasm and positivity, and to know that they're preparing for an All-Ireland final. He has great people in his backroom team, the likes of Molly Dunn, Olivia Ford involved, and Willie Madden. Great people to be involved in their intermediates, and I know that during the year, like, they had different girls going up and down training with the seniors. What a fantastic experience for those young girls, and I think towards the end there, the little bit of fitness, the little bit of, toughness in the tackle, that really showed through for Galway.
Yeah, what about Cork, Anna? Disappointing for them. I just felt they didn't really get going.
Yeah, and I suppose an All-Ireland final, it can throw up so many different things. Like, Cork haven't won All-Ireland in the intermediate since 2018. I think for a lot of these players, it wasn't their day. Sometimes things fall right for you, and like, they kept on trying. That's the most important thing. They never gave up all the time. Like Caitlin Hickey, Lauren Holman, Joanne Casey, they kept on plugging away. Just when it counted, just Galway got those vital scores.
Yeah, they did. And look, they were level a few times in the first half, Ursula, but Galway, they were quite economical. They just kept it ticking over, kept that little bit in front, and it never really let Cork catch them. It didn't feel like they were going to catch them.
Yeah, they just always looked that little bit more comfortable, and they were a little bit more economical overall in the 60 minutes. Now, Cork really will rue the chances they had, in particular in the second half. But Cork's defence, or Galway's defence, really stood up to the challenge as well. And as Anne-Marie said earlier, they lost Katie Manning there with 10-15 minutes to go, and they still withheld a lot of the Cork influential players.
Anne-Marie, those 2 points that you mentioned a little bit before the cup lift there, they felt like they were vital scores for Galway.
Yeah, they were, because as Ursula already alluded to, that little bit of distance that Galway kept between Cork, between themselves and Cork, like they had 3 points there at half time. And I think Niamh McPeak and Katie Gilchrist, you know, it only takes two. Maybe we only got 3 scores in the second half. One of them was from free, so these ended up being so important. That was a fantastic score by Niamh McPeak. And here you see Ciara Hickey breaking out with the ball, looking up, and this is brilliant work by Lisa Casterly. Breaking forward, she gave the little pass in on the loop inside, and what a score from distance by Katie Gilchrist. You know, a fantastic game by that girl there. A free taker has such an important role to play, and she was really, really important for Galway today.
And what about the Cork chances? Because there were some as well.
Yeah, there absolutely were, and I think you can really feel that Cork will have rued these chances, because there was just like, there was so many times where you felt if they just took that extra step or they just took that extra pass, that would have been the reason why they actually could have got that score, especially when all the hard work had been done. And like, even when you're looking, and even when the referee had blown the whistle, the ball was struck wide. Those kind of small chances, like, again, a great stop there as well by Fiona Ryan.
But for me, I suppose, with that shot for Joanne Casey, Cork badly needed a point.
Yeah, they did.
I felt she made the wrong decision. I'm not, you know, Joanne has been an excellent player throughout the year and over the years for Cork, but I felt that Cork needed to break that 2-point deficit, and they needed a point more so than a goal at that stage.
Because there was still time. Yeah. So even if they got it down to a point, they could have then brought it back. And I think momentum probably would have been with Cork. But look, if she'd got the goal then, we'd be saying brilliant for her to have had the bravery to do it. So these are I suppose, the small margins.
And there were chances for Galway as well to find the net, Ursula.
Yeah, there was, and the Cork goalie Steph Bozang did excellent for this, but it was a high ball in from Niamh McPeak, and you know, Galway followed it through, but somehow Cork managed to keep it off the line. They did brilliantly and ended up winning a free out. And I think we were kind of saying throughout the second half, whichever team could potentially get that goal. But look, both teams kept a clean sheet from the goal point of view, and we thought this was going to be a huge turning point for Cork, because they went down the field and they had the Joanne Casey chance after. So look, Cork will be happy they didn't concede a goal, but they couldn't get one themselves.
And there was still 10 minutes left to play at that point. That was in the 54th minute. So you kind of really feel if they'd gone down, because you can see like Stephanie really was trying to get the team going, but it just didn't materialise.
You'd have to admire Galway after that. Like, we were up here saying this is a turning point for Cork. They're going to go up the field and get a score. Galway withheld such pressure in those last 10 minutes, I think. Credits to their backs, the midfield, they worked so hard, down a player, and just ground out that win with really, really brilliant work rate.
So Anna, is it a blow when the intermediate team don't pull off the win?
Well, the last time Cork Intermediates won the All-Ireland, the seniors went on then to win the All-Ireland. So I'm really hoping now that, like, that disappointment, you just have to, you have to draw a line under it. And really, I suppose it's about the senior team now coming out and trying to hopefully rectify that result.
Yeah, that's it really, Ursula, isn't it? Like, I mean, we mentioned about Cathal Murray being able to draw on a loss. That senior team in there will know that their intermediates are disappointed and will want to give them something.
Yeah, that's it. And they'll be looking to fly the flag for Cork now in the next hour. But you completely have to just be selfish and separate yourself from the intermediates when you're a senior player, and they'll be solely focused on the task at hand against.
I don't think there's any crossover of players either between the two panels.
Or management,
which is probably a good thing for the Cork senior team.
And I think as well we need to give Galway a bit of credit as well, Anna, because they were down to 14 players.
Yeah, and I suppose like sometimes the team that loses the player is often the team that steps up, because you have to become more economical with your possession. You have to make sure that you're not allowing the space to materialise, and they didn't. If anything, they probably played better with the 14 because everybody had to step up and give that little bit more, and they got tighter on their players. Cork weren't allowed roam free, and every time Cork were in possession, there was 2 players from Galway tackling.
Couple of subs that came on for Galway too. Yeah. I thought that they just held up the ball until a bit of support came. Shannon Corcoran was involved in that play at the end there where Katie Gilchrist won a vital free. I thought those couple of players that Galway brought on did play well. Yeah.
But I do have to give a mention to Rachel O'Shea for Cork. I really thought when she came on, more than any other player I think on the pitch, her impact was really felt. It's just, I think if anything, Cork could have got her on the ball a bit more, but she deserves a mention because she was brilliant today and she gave everything of herself.
Yeah, you could see that in all right. Well, do stay with us. We do have a senior final to come. We're going to take a very quick break now.
Park for the culmination of a championship. A season of sacrifice, commitment and training ends with the honour bestowed on these two teams on All-Ireland final day. It's Cork against Kilkenny for only the 11th time. Jennifer O'Leary failed to score in the first half, got a point in the second. Jennifer O'Leary! Fantastic! That's it! Cork's 25th All-Ireland title is on its way.
Right here, right now.
A little bit shoving going on there, which I hadn't seen in handshakes before.
Right here, right
It's Katie Power first time. There's a chance here of a goal. Here comes the shot. What a goal! Absolutely brilliant marking. It's all over. Kilkenny are the All-Ireland Senior Camogie champions for the first time since 1994. This is a big moment for them. Can they achieve as such 3 victories in a row over Cork? They're great rivals. Kilkenny find themselves under severe pressure. They cannot allow her to have a go. She hits it, and it's gone over the bar. Cork have a winner.
Juliet White.
Kilkenny have been beaten in the most dramatic of fashion. It's now reaching fever pitch as the Rebels and the Cats face each other again for the ultimate glory. Cork are All-Ireland champions for the second year in a row. For the second year in a row, Kilkenny hearts are broken by 1 solitary score.
Some vintage Anagiri shots there in that lovely VT. Well, Matthew Toomey will have been plotting and planning for today's encounter with Kilkenny. And with Aisling Thompson ready for action, anything is possible.
And Cork through to the All-Ireland Senior Camogie Championship final. They've done it the hard way. They've been pushed all the way by Waterford here at Croke Park.
So at half-time we were very worried. We're training very hard all year to see where the character is of the players, and we were very happy with that end result, but very relieved at the same time.
It was quite a difficult semi-final to get over, but those are the types of games that you want. At one stage I was going to walk into the tunnel, to be honest, because I couldn't watch it. Just from sitting on the sidelines, I'm not one that can sit, you know, calmly. So it was quite frustrating, but again, I think we were trying to do the right things. It just wasn't coming off, and you have to pay credit to Waterford for that too.
From the outset, we thought she was going to be gone for the year, so when the second appeal came through, we kind of kept it to myself and Davy.
It's a position I've never been in before, whether it's been club or county. In the beginning, it didn't really bother me as much. I had 3 weeks to prepare for the semi-final. We prepared as if we weren't going to be with me, and I think that was the most important thing. But I always instill a belief in those girls that no matter who's on the pitch, that the job can be done if we play at our full potential.
No, she answered everything for us, like, you know, her presence out there and her leadership, and no, she was like a massive plus for us when we needed her. You know, she was there.
Kilkenny are in the All-Ireland final on the 7th of August.
I think with Kilkenny, what you see is what you get. I have a lot of respect for them in ways, because I do think when we meet, we bring the best out in each other in terms of our capabilities, and the display is always something to look back on.
Like, if we can't get a score on the board in the first 20 minutes, the game is over. We know that. Like, they've some great backs there. Grace Boggs is probably one of the best in the game, so we just have to find a way to get around them. There's a magician with us at the moment now who I think in the dressing room before we'll have him firing.
That's the biggest thing I find with Davy, is that he's excellent in terms of bonding a team. You know, it's like a lot of those girls I've met for the first time this year, and it's like we've known each other 10 years.
I suppose his persona is out there, that he's half mad, and that's 2% of Davy, but like his tactical brain, the way he talks to the players, both personally and about Camogie, is brilliant. His help for me is huge. I'm after learning so much off him. So like, it was a big plus for us to get him into Cork Camogie.
We've worked extremely hard, in particular in pre-season, but the whole year throughout. We've had a lot of ups and downs as a team. It would mean everything to us. It's everything you dream of, really. Outside of All-Ireland final day, nothing else matters. You know, it all comes down to this one day. And if we push and strive for each other, I think that'll be enough.
It does come down to this one day, and that day is upon us. The O'Duffy Cup being brought onto the pitch. The piece of silverware that everybody wants. And 2 young girls in the Cork and Kilkenny. Anna, are Kilkenny your biggest rivals?
Yeah, I think Kilkenny probably, and Wexford and Cork now back in the early 2000s probably would have had a massive rivalry with Cork. But I think in the last few years, like 4 times in the last 10 years, that these like 2 counties have met. And they do, Aisling alluded to it, they do seem to bring the best out of each other. You'll be guaranteed a physical game. You'll be guaranteed it'll be tactical. Sometimes it's defensive. I hope it doesn't go that way today, but it can be at times. But ultimately it is about the margins of error, because everyone's going to make mistakes in a day. There's a lot at stake. But I just feel, even like Aisling mentioned there's 11 new panellists on that Cork panel. So there's a lot of a new injection, like there's new players, different positions, like even take Chloe Sigerson. The last time she played against Kilkenny in All-Ireland final, she was wing back. Now she's wing forward, having broken numerous teams' hearts.
For both teams, Anna, though, since 2018, Cork only have 8 of the starting 15, and Kilkenny actually have less. They only have 6.
Yeah.
So there's been a huge transition in both teams.
Yeah. And Marie, let's talk about Aisling Thomas. In fairness to her, she is absolutely box office. She's the player that everybody wants to see, but she delivers as well. She has a massive influence on her team.
Yeah, and look, she has been the talk of the semi-final. She's probably taken a lot of heat off the Cork players up to the final, because she's been in all of the media. Just her impact the last day when she came on. She came introduced on the 22nd minute. She was the supplier to Katrina Mackey for their first Cork score on the 24th minute. Look, in her first 5 minutes she came on, she had 5 possessions. She made 3 tackles. Her impact was absolutely immediate, so it was. Her positioning is so good, taking the little passes, but watch, ability to draw the player, break the tackle, lays it off to Katrina Mackey, ball over the bar again. The way she is also a massive scoring threat. League final here against Galway earlier on this year, 3 points from play from the middle of the field, and from distance as well. The last thing that I know about Aisling Thompson is her physicality. This is a throw-in now, from the very off last year's All-Ireland final, nailed Aoife Donoghue. She's a player that plays on the edge, and she loves that increased physicality in the game. And today, I don't know, have Kilkenny got someone to match her physicality and to curtail her influence? Because I think she's going to have a massive bearing on the game.
Do they have somebody?
I don't know.
I hope not.
Well, for me, I think possibly the obvious choice for me is potentially Katie Power, because she can match her with her physicality, her fitness level, and Katie is a grafter. She goes after a player. She's well comfortable playing out around midfield, and if Aisling goes back into half-back line, Katie's comfortable going forward. So to me, she's probably the most obvious choice for Kilkenny.
You could see Denise Gall as well come out, as we've seen her already in the semi-final, you know, because she's excellent aerial possession, much like Aisling, so they might go toe-to-toe as well in the air.
You'd feel, though, robbing Peter to pay Paul, both of those players are going to be needed up front today for Kilkenny.
Ursula, what about the Cork defence? How are they going to set up? You mentioned Denise Gall there. We know what the Kilkenny forwards are capable of. Miriam Walsh, the likes of her, when they get going.
Yeah, I think Cork are going to do their usual dogged, touch-tight defensive display again. And Libby Coppinger, who had an excellent semi-final performance, you know, she's going to be key to this Kilkenny or to Cork defence, because they swarm, they stifle, they suffocate the opposition. And last year, Cork overturned Kilkenny on numerous occasions, and they're very comfortable with the one-on-one situation. We see here Libby uses all her strength to win a free, and they need more of that today, because, you know, as I said in the semi-final, you know, when Waterford were on top, Cork had to get the numbers around, swarm around them and dispossess them then and turn them over. In the semi-final last year against Kilkenny, Kilkenny lost possession 80% in the first half and 77% in the second half. That was largely down to the defensive display. Laura Tracy, Maeve Callahan has been brilliant this year. The half-back line is so vital for Cork, because they need to find the balance between holding their positions, but also that ability to press up the field to cause pressure on the Kilkenny defence.
And after the semi-final, there were 2 things we were talking about. One was Aisling Thompson, and the second was the fact that Cork didn't score until 24 minutes.
Yeah, but they also got the last 8 scores of that game, and they held Waterford scoreless the last 15 minutes. For me, I suppose, like, what I would like to see is Cork reverting back to what they do well, and that's running the ball through the lines, playing the ball out down the flanks, having that support player. And much like we've seen here, like Aisling Thompson to Katrina Mackey, she waits long range point over the bar, and I expect them to utilise the space out in the wings a lot more. Again, I actually think that some of the players in Cork will actually rotate out into that space. This is Emma Murphy here, was a great score. Like, she scored 5 points, a lot of them long range throughout the championship. Fiona Keating the same, Ciana Healy the same. So what they need to do is get the ball into the player and then take the player on, but not run it all the way down. Like Galway, I think, made the mistake as they tried to walk the ball down the centre of that strong Kilkenny defence. So don't be afraid to go for the long scores. This is the All-Ireland semi-final against Kilkenny last year. Like the support player for Cork will always be outside. So if they can look out and then hit the ball long over the bar, the girls can strike the ball from 50, 60 yards. Same thing here again. This is Chloe Sigerson against Kilkenny in last year's All-Ireland semi-final. she got some excellent long-range scores, and Cork found themselves 10 points to 5 points up at half-time last year from hitting long-range scores. But I think what we will see from Cork today that we haven't seen all year is rotation, movement. Expect to see Amy O'Connor out in the half-forward line, maybe Aisling Thompson in closer to goal. And I think they're going to try and stifle that Kilkenny defence, because they did so well in the semi-final against Galway.
Kilkenny are out there, we can see them on the pitch, and they looking right at home in Croke Park. Well, I have to say that is some insight from Cork. We are going to be hearing from Claire Phelan and Brian Dowling very, very shortly. Do stay with us.